the point I'm getting to here is, given Jeffrey Epstein's involvement in the BCCI network, given Jeffrey's involvement in the 1990s with all the foreign policy activities happening in the Middle East at that time, given Jeffrey Epstein's involvement through the early 2000s Clinton era and everything, given his involvement in everything from Israeli to Saudi to British to French high-level government officials, Jeffrey Epstein was investigated by the SEC in the 1980s. He was one of the two people who ran the biggest Ponzi scheme in history at the time in the United States, the Towers financial collapse. Epstein's business partner goes to jail for like 30 years or 20 years or whatever. But Epstein skates completely free. Epstein gets involved in this huge fraud in the U.S. Virgin Islands with this, like billion-dollar fraud case in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Never prosecuted for any of it. Why is that? Well, one is, he may have, we know in the U.S. Virgin Islands case, he was sponsoring the campaigns, basically, of the politicians there. The prosecutors answer to the politicians. Could be that. But I would be shocked if they're in 40 years of this Where's Waldo, Forrest Gump, he's always in the room, in 40 years of American foreign policy and intelligence activity, money sourcing for all the crimes that Epstein committed, the concern was the same one they had with Rolando Masfer. Don't bring the case, and if you do, bring it in a highly limited way. And that's exactly what happened in 2006, the first time he was indicted. Everybody was up in arms that it was a sweetheart plea deal. It gave protection to all co-conspirators, known and unknown. And it was swooped in quickly before there was a trial in full, so that lines of evidence couldn't be opened about the network.
It's just crazy that statutory rape is what took it all down, right? Because it's underage hand jobs, right? That's what took it all down.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be what took Jeffrey Epstein down.
Kind of crazy.
Even that has a really interesting geopolitical history. There was a similar scandal in the early 2000s with a private military contractor called Dyncorp, which again runs through this Adnan Khashoggi kind of Middle Eastern network. Dyncorp got in trouble for trafficking, facilitating the traffic. It was a major U.S. military and CIA contractor for logistics and institutional support and military assistance on the ground for the U.S. military all over the world. They got in trouble basically trafficking underage kids to Middle Eastern sheikhs. And I believe in the early 2000s, and I believe the reason that was alleged by Congress that they did that was to juice the deals with them. That basically, these people who were critical. If you're operating on the ground in Kuwait or, pick your Middle Eastern, country, in order to serve your purpose for the U.S. government to be this outside, plausibly deniable, but extensively infrastructured professional support outfit on the ground, you need the support of the local government. You need the support of the local high-level officials. They need to be happy. And there's several currencies for that. There's financial payoffs, and there's other things they might like parties and young women, especially in places where being with the very young female is not illegal. And so what Dyncorp, I believe, got busted doing, and you can look up the Dyncorp scandal here, was doing this, and I believe their argument was, well, you wanted us to do this thing on the ground. You wanted us to help the U.S. military and kind of covert support nodes that were happening here. We had to do it somehow. This is part of what helped us do that. I would not be surprised if the Epstein trafficking apparatus started with similar motivations. not that it's not for necessarily for blackmail, but because it makes clients or customers or VIP people happy. It makes them owe you something. It makes them want to get involved in a deal you do, even if the deal is not one they would ordinarily do, because they just want to stay close to you because you're their supplier of the thing, of their vice, of the thing that they, want but can't get. If you're a 70-year-old billionaire, you can't walk into a bar and leave aside the underage thing. You can't walk into a bar, and meet an 18-year-old who's, I'm presume, these things are facilitated at private parties. And it needs to, for a lot of these guys, it has to be discreet. They've got wives, they've got reputations. And, there's an aspect of this that plays out at every institution. I worked at a New York law firm, and, there's ways that you can make partner. At least this was kind of the vibe that I felt like. Some people make partner because they're really good technically at what they do. They're just amazing. They're just technical whizzes on the minutia of how to structure a merger or acquisition. They're just really great at structuring an offshore banking transaction, or they just know absolutely everything about tax law. There's some people who move up because of nepotism. They're the brother and they're the son-in-law of a major partner. There's some people who make partner because they know they brought in one client who's just a really big rainmaker. And there's some people who move up because they open doors to partners while they're associates. They introduce them to someone. They host events. They've got, tickets to exclusive things. And the partners just like being around that person because they get access to that person in a currency that they can't get on their own. And that includes hosting, cool, exotic parties, having, attractive women. I've never been convinced that the central role of the Epstein young girl, in my view, sidebar of the Epstein money laundering story is that it was for blackmail. And part of this is because the moment Jeffrey Epstein officially threatens somebody with blackmail, and that person tells his wife, and that wife tells her friends, and that gets out to somebody else that knows Jeffrey Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's access goes away overnight. That's the sort of thing that even a rumor of that spreading, and nobody else is going to want to do business with them.
So you think people just assume it's blackmail because that is how you would blackmail someone, especially underage girls?
I think it is very possible that there could have been indirect blackmail, meaning Epstein passes it on to an intelligence service, to a corporate espionage client or something, and they use that for their own purposes. But even then, I mean, imagine, for example, if, like on the Bill Gates thing, like there was Bill Gates gets an email, I have a video of you sleeping with this person, and, or somebody much lower level. The moment they send that to the press, if, in order to, they figure they have nothing to lose. I mean, there's not been anybody in the 7 years that's transpired who said, I was personally blackmailed by Jeffrey Epstein. I think, because the moment you do that, nobody comes to your parties anymore. You lose all the access. You lose all the deal flow. You lose all the goodwill that you've generated because this rumor, people are very risk averse, especially at that level.
Right, but just to have it over their head and never use it, though.
Right. Well, I think that what you could have is, because he does his own nefarious stuff, he could compile it so that if they ever threaten him with something, he's now got something on them. And I've seen some correspondence that, in the files that looks like that might not be an impossible scenario.
Do you think that's how Jeffrey Epstein got in that position in the first place, that they knew he had this kink?
No, not at all. I mean, Adnan Khashoggi had the same thing. Adnan Khashoggi was running around with dozens of young and apparently underage girls the whole time. I think that Jeffrey Epstein probably learned how powerful that can be through that network, seeing that's what powerful people do, that gives them something that gets them a lot of local influence and wins them a lot of favor.
That's a very specific illicit desire to want underage people.
Well,
how do you even find out that someone's into that?
Well, I don't think that the majority or anything close to it of the women were technically. I think it was largely
young,
very young, barely legal, so to speak. But and I know that there were cases of underage, but I think
most of it was just
very, very young, but not like
20-year-old
not
girls,
like 13
18-year-old girls.
type thing. And then remember, because this is an international enterprise, and many of the clients are like in countries that don't necessarily have the same norms about that that we do. You can very easily see someone getting involved in that just because girls juice deals. And so I don't think that Epstein – I've not seen evidence, and in my view, you don't need any of that to understand the core part of the Epstein story that has relevance to your life today in terms of your own government and the workings of power and corporate finance and the like. But I do think that girls juice deals, and the fact that he had the coolest parties on a private island with the hottest girls is something that
also brought in a lot of intellectuals, stimulating conversations, scientists, all these very interesting people. So that was part of the thing, right? That was the draw.
Try hosting a cool party as a guy with a bad ratio, so to speak.
Sausage party.
With a sausage party. And when you develop a reputation for having attractive women at the parties you host, you become an important person to know in the network, because basically every male has a desire for attractive women, not saying underage, obviously, but that is like a universal biological desire for men to want to be around attractive women.
And what did they do for gay guys?
I have no idea.
Is that a part of the file or the lore?
I've not seen evidence of it, or if I have, I can't recall it offhand. But again,
the whole point is he's throwing these very attractive, cool parties to get all these people together.
But that's what juices deals.
Right.
If you take this scenario, Epstein's running a fund. A donor, a colleague, someone that he'd like to do a favor for, or an intelligence service says, hey, we're trying to get a pipeline built in the Middle East. We need a facilitator to help arrange private outside funding for it, so this thing can be constructed, and it doesn't look like it's coming from the U.S. government, the U.S. government will provide some sort of loan guarantee or something on it, but we can't raise enough money to do this. It needs to come from the outside, but it would really help American national security, and there's probably something in it for you if you can get this done. Epstein then goes out and then puts out basically, tries to make contact with people in his network who might be interested in that deal, and then goes out to 5 people. 2 of them are, in the space locally. The deal terms look good. They want to do it 100%, no hesitation. And then 2 people say, well, listen, it's a good idea in concept, but I don't know, the risk profile on it looks a little high. This normally would not be something that my team would clear. It's interesting, but it's a little rich for my blood in terms of the risk profile. But Jeffrey Epstein asked them to do it. And Jeffrey Epstein, for the past 3 years of their lives has been the best weekend they've ever had, has made them feel alive again in their, mid 50s or 60s, has opened all sorts of other deals for them. And this deal might work out. So I'm afraid that if I say no to Jeffrey Epstein on this deal, I'm not going to get an invite to the next party.
Well, TikTok is now not allowing people to post anything that is anti-ICE.
Not just that. You can't post the juice box emoji.
What's that?
Because it's code for Jews. Because people were using it because they were blocking content where they were criticizing Israel.
Wait, why is it juice box Jews?
I don't know.
Oh, juice box.
Juice. It is funny. But did they block the use? This is somebody sent me this. I haven't verified this. Did they block the use of the word Epstein?
I'm not on the app, but I saw a video of someone trying,
Yeah, let's run that through Perplexity.
And ask if it's blocked.
See if Perplexity will rat out TikTok.
Right, because that's...
It's so crazy that they would do it because they just purchased it, right? So it was just purchased by some... What is the group? Did Larry Ellison's group purchase it?
Yes.
Okay. Which is a tremendous supporter of Netanyahu in Israel.
Right.
So, yeah. There you go.
Wow.
So you got censored news now. So any criticism of Palestine, what's going on in Gaza, all that stuff's going to get squashed probably. TikTok does not have a rule that bans or blocks the word Epstein across the app, but many U.S. users have recently been unable to send that word in direct messages. Now, I have a friend, his name's Bobby Epstein. Totally unrelated. He's the guy who owns the Coda racetrack. He's a good friend of mine. I can't send a message saying I was just talking to my friend Bobby Epstein.
Oh, no shit.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Epstein is a super common name.
Yeah.
It's like Jones.
It was on Welcome Back, Kotter.
Right.
Yeah.
Epstein from Welcome Back,
Yeah.
Kotter. That's right.
You can't talk
He
about
played
him
my
anymore.
brother on News Radio.
No.
Yes. Him, Nick DiPaolo, and Brian Callen played my brothers, and we all just beat the shit out of each other during the entire episode. It was hilarious.
amazing.
Yeah, Nick threw me through a plate glass window, and then the brother shows up. Epstein was a priest, and he showed up with a bat. We were all scared of our older brother. It was really funny.
He was the Jew, the Puerto Rican Jew from Brooklyn.
He was great.
Yeah.
He was a really nice guy, too. So what else does it say here? Newsom to probe claims of Trump-critical censorship on TikTok. I think they're fucking blocking a lot of things on certain social media platforms. I mean,
Well, what is that? I mean, what's your big picture take on whether or not social media platforms, which are privately owned, have responsibility that, say, regular broadcast networks would have in terms of not censoring things?
Well, regular broadcasts problem is they censor things.
Right.
They don't just report on the news. They report on what they decide they're going to report on. Like, if it's a CNN hourly news segment, they have no responsibility to tell you about any particular story. None. Zero.
Yeah.
So they'll wait till something becomes like unmanageable before they'll start talking about it.
Right.
So something like starts getting traction on social media, like some sort of a corruption scandal, if it's a left-wing scandal, they can ignore it.
Right.
And they have no obligation to. It's not like we have to tell you about these very critical. It's not like, we ran it through AI. There's 20 things that the American public has to know about. So they censor, or at least they curate the content. I think for social media platforms, if Elon Musk didn't buy Twitter, we would be fucked. Because there would be no place where you could say whatever you want, even heinous things, right?
Yeah.
But if someone says heinous things, you can block them and not interact with them. And you can let other people tear them down and tear them apart. And that's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, you don't counter hate speech with censorship. You counter it with better speech.
Right.
And you appeal to rational people and sensible people that go, this is why this guy is wrong. This is why racism is wrong. This is why rash generalizations are wrong. This is why it's wrong.
Yeah.
And that's how you're supposed to do it. It's supposed to be a free speech town hall platform. It's supposed to be like the town square where everybody can get together and talk about ideas. And that's how it should be.
Right.
And there's been a lot of calls that say that you shouldn't be able to be anonymous on social media, that you should have consequences for your actions. The problem with that is then you lose all your whistleblowers, right? All the whistleblowers that are talking about giant corporations that are doing horrible things to the environment secretly in other countries, which we find out about all the time. Like the Stephen Dozinger case where that guy got arrested. But he was prosecuted. Was it Exxon? The Dozinger case? But it's like whistleblowers are important.
Yes.
You know, and if you don't have whistleblowers, you don't find out. Like if Edward Snowden doesn't come out, we know so little about the NSA. We know so little about government spying. And yeah, he's an American former attorney known for his legal battle. Oh, Chevron, particularly with. So he was arrested and he went to jail, man, for criminal contempt.
I mean, that's First Amendment, isn't it?
You know, I don't know exactly the details of the case. He spent 45 days in prison and a combined total of 993 days under house arrest. Wow.
Not only do they go to jail, it depletes all your savings. If they decide to prosecute you, your life is ruined.
That's part of the point of it all. It's to also discourage other people from doing the same thing.
Right.
So if you're an attorney and you're thinking of prosecuting, you know, Shell, you're not going to do that now. You're going to go, fuck this. You know, I have a fucking house.
Right.
I'm trying to buy a Porsche. And then you back at it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You know.
I mean, it's a weird thing because, like, I know, like right now, to cover the Pentagon, no journalist can go into the Pentagon unless they sign an agreement to only put out government-sponsored press releases.
Government approved? Or
government approved. So now you've got very few people inside the Pentagon, which is where the whistleblowing was happening. They're in the back halls of the Pentagon.
That's crazy. But then, you see, the problem with the Pentagon is you're talking about national security. And if someone released something like the name of an agent that was undercover somewhere and something happened, that person got killed or compromised or some sort of a national security interest, you know, was the whole thing was tanked.
Yeah.
That's the Pentagon's different. I mean, I'm not saying that the press shouldn't have access to Pentagon officials. They certainly should. But it's like going there is kind of different, right? It's like the FBI just arrested, they just had a giant sweep on gangs in this country today.
Yeah.
They just released that they found like, I think it was 10 kilos of drugs. They arrested
like
50
cartel
people,
gangs?
cartels in America.
Yeah.
And so they made a giant arrest today.
Yeah.
I think they arrested 200. See if we can find what that story is. But like, imagine if you were in the FBI office and you heard about an imminent attack and you printed something. Like if you're a reporter and you're covering this stuff and you have access to this information somehow, and it gets released and these guys find out about it and they skate. They nabbed
Latin Kings.
50 Latin Kings in Operation Broken Crown after a 3-month sweep. So what is the details of it? Okay, last 3 months, the FBI has quietly executed. Sorry, I'll go to somewhere else. Okay, this is on X. Quietly executed Operation Broken Crown, a sweeping violent gang takedown involving 13 field offices targeting the Latin Kings gangs. Members which were publicly threatening law enforcement officers, 50 arrests, $200,000 in seized assets, seizure of 10 kilos of illicit narcotics. Interesting. Well, so like that kind of a situation, you can't have access to that information before they do it. That has to be very tight-lipped, you know. But there's only a few of those kind of scenarios that I can imagine. But when it comes to like politicians and backdoor deals, like there should be live footage of it. It should be live
you only
streamed.
found out about the illegal bombings in Cambodia because there was a whistleblower inside of the Pentagon.
Exactly.
So it does.
Yeah.
You do need some access.
Yeah, but it's like, well, you need whistleblowers, right?
Right.
But it's like, how many people? Here's the thing about like intelligence agencies. And there's a lot of good people that are working there. It's like we judge them based on the evil people that are probably the ones with the most power. You know.
Yes.
there's probably a lot of like mid-level people working at the Pentagon, working at the CIA, working everywhere that are good people.
Oh, are you kidding me? These are people that have dedicated their lives to trying to, I believe I'm the same way with cops. I think, I got 3 good buddies that are cops, and they are absolutely went into it the way a social worker goes into it.
Yes.
And then there's evil ones that, I think it was worse. I think back, back in the days of like Serpico. You ever see that movie? It was literally like the entire force was in on it.
Yeah.
There was fucking legal gambling, legal drug dealing. Nobody got touched.
Yep. Yeah, they've always done that. I mean, that's how they ran the mob in Vegas.
Yeah.
The mob ran Vegas with the cops.
Oh, yeah, we were just talking about that outside. Why was Vegas and Atlantic City the only places allowed to, I don't know why I stupidly asked that. Like, Jamie's like, because of the mob, asshole.
Yeah, fucking duh. Well, it was the mob, and I think Nevada, there was also, see if this is true. There was supposedly a connection between the testing of nuclear weapons and then allowing the city, or the state rather, to have gambling. Because Nevada was one of the rare places where they like routinely tested nuclear weapons.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen the video that shows a history of all the atomic bombs going off in the United States. The video is crazy because it starts with the first test, starts with the Trinity test, they do the couple in the ocean. What's the matter? What's so funny?
Just the way this is worded.
What is it?
I asked if there's a connection between nuclear tests and gambling in Las Vegas, and turns out, they would use it as a theme to attract gamblers.
What? Look, come see a bomb.
Yeah.
From the early 1950s to the 1960s, Las Vegas casinos and tourism promoters actively used nearby nuclear weapons tests as themed attractions to draw gamblers and visitors. Holy shit, man.
Bomb parties.
It's like how...
Oh, my God. They had bomb parties on the rooftop. They'd stay up gambling, drinking, and then stepped outside to watch the blast on the horizon.
Wow.
With your atomic cocktail. And your
Oh,
atomic
my
hairdo.
God.
Dude, it's like how Caesars does fireworks now.
They had atomic-themed promotions, atomic cocktails, atomic hairdos, nuclear pinup imagery like Miss Atomic Blast. Slogans like Atomic City, USA, and Up and Atom to tie the test directly to Vegas nightlife and gambling culture. Holy shit, man.
I wonder if you could place bets. Dude, I bet your eyebrows singe off.
I don't know if they had the same thing like what they have now with modern prediction betting. With prediction betting, you can bet on pretty much everything.
I just made a bet last night on...
Go back down to where you were. Go with the bottom line. In short, nuclear weapons tests near Las Vegas were not just a backdrop. They were deliberately woven into casino marketing, party culture, and tourism that supported the city's gambling economy. But did it have the reason? Like, here's my question: Was Nevada allowed to have gambling because of them allowing nuclear tests? Like, was there any sort of an agreement? Because there's only 2 states at that time that allowed casinos, like real casinos.
Right.
And it seems kind of weird that one of them, New Jersey's always been fucking corrupt. That's the Sopranos. I mean, it's like the most mob-ridden fucking state in the country at the time.
Based in Atlantic City, pretty much.
I mean, cut the fucking shit.
Yeah.
In Atlantic City.
And then Vegas was Bugsy Siegel, right?
Okay, well, since Nevada legalized most forms of gambling in 31, okay, so it doesn't make any sense because it's before that. So it's the Great Depression, economic measure tractors. So no, so that theory doesn't hold up.
Right,
I didn't know that Vegas was started at 31. That's nuts.
So basically, the Great Depression started, and then they launched Vegas as a way to raise money.
Which is
for
hilarious.
Nevada.
You have no money.
Exactly.
There's no jobs. Why don't you gamble? What?
My gamble is going to the food line, seeing if I can get a loaf of bread. That's my gamble today.
You know what's crazy is that lake keeps drying up because they were having a drought. They keep finding bodies in the lake.
Oh, no shit.
Oh, yeah. Like those metal barrels with like bodies inside of them. They've found quite a few of them. How many bodies have they found? Is it Lake Mead, I believe? Yeah, so as it's drying up, it's at like it was. I think it's probably picked up a little bit, but at one point in time was at a historic low.
Yeah.
And so they were finding these fucking dead bodies. I think they found like a half a dozen of them, and I think they think there's a whole lot more in there.
No shit.
As of latest reporting, at least 6 separate discoveries of human remains, were made in Lake Mead in 2022 as the water level dropped, representing at least several different individuals. Wow. Find out that thing where they stopped searching for guns and bodies. I think it was in MacArthur Park, and why they did that.
David Tell, back in his Insomniac days, used to hung out with some dark motherfuckers in New York.
Oh, yeah.
And he used to bring this guy in who was he was a New York City cop, and they basically said, we'll double your pay and give you early retirement if you put on a frog suit every night and you go out into, I think it was Flushing Bay, one of the bays out in Queens, which was a famous place where the mob was dropping bodies. And the guy would go into the water in a frog suit, and he'd wait by this bridge. And when they drop a body, he'd fucking call it in. And he did that the night shift. And he'd finish that, and he'd come into the Comedy Cellar at like 4 a.m.
So he'd wait in the ocean in a scuba suit
in
for them
bay.
to drop a body?
Yeah.
Holy shit. They were dropping that many bodies
Yes.
that you could just wait for. That's so crazy.
It's just
Search for MacArthur Park for guns and possible bodies was stopped because authorities said it was an unpermitted and potentially unsafe operation on city park property. Okay, so it was a businessman. So it was a private thing. So that's probably what it was. So official reasons given. Organizers led by businessman John, I don't know how to spell his name, A-L-L-E. How do you say that? Alei? Plan to use sonar and remotely operated vehicles to look for weapons and human remains in the lake. Los Angeles Park Rangers halted the effort before the sonar entered the water, saying the team did not have the required permits or clearances. Okay. Why didn't you guys do that, though? If this guy really thinks that there could be bodies and guns in the lake, why wouldn't you guys search for bodies and guns if someone could search for it?
right.
It seems like there's probably a lot of people missing, a lot of crimes that could be solved, a lot of resources that have already been spent on cases. You could probably get to the bottom of a lot of things. Alei, I don't know how to say his name, said families of missing people, some of whom were last seen near MacArthur Park, had reached out to him for help, which inspired the idea of a large-scale sonar search of the lake. There's evidence down there for crimes, he said. We'll identify it with photography, and the city will have to extract it.
It also could be these are homeless people, and
They
the
can't
government
swim.
doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
They can't swim.
Yeah.
Come on, they were kids once.
It's hard to swim when you're on meth. You get bad cardio. You know, if one guy says, this is the last day I do meth, today I get in shape, and he tries to swim across the lake and fucking strokes out in the middle
This
of it.
is my day.
Never gave him oh, geez, I'm in there. What are they saying about me?
It's just an article. It's an ad.
It's an ad?
That's basically, it's an ad down at the bottom.
Oh, I mocked the AI generated. That was crazy. The AI generated photo that MSNBC put up of the guy who got shot in Minneapolis. They changed his appearance.
Alex Preddy?
Yes,
They changed his appearance in
they
what
made
way?
him handsome.
Oh, they did?
You haven't seen it?
No.
You have to see it. You have to see it. It's there. I don't know who's doing this.
Yeah.
It's almost like someone from the Republican side is like a secret plant at MSNBC because they know that stuff like this is going to get caught. Look at the difference between the one on the left and one on the right.
Well, the nose looks blurry on the one on the left.
Well, that's his nose. That's what he looks
Yeah.
like. It's just a shitty picture. But they cleaned the picture up. They made his
gave him a
nose
tan.
smaller. They gave him a tan. They made his forehead shorter. They made his jaw wider. They made his shoulders thicker.
Yeah.
They gave him more bicep. They made him more handsome. They made his neck thicker. He looks better.
Yep.
The guy on the right looks like a good-looking guy. The guy
Yeah.
on the left looks, like Ari's unfortunate brother. Doesn't he?
Poor Ari's brother. I mean, it's so funny that Ari comes from this family. He grew up Orthodox Jewish, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the things that he has put out there for a family to have to see, it makes you realize, and they love him. Like they accept it, and it's all about grace. And I love Jews because they are very accepting You know, as much as you might be Orthodox, I find my wife is half Jewish, and there's something very open-minded about Jews. I mean, they were the original hippies and they were the original communists in America, and they were always open to different ideas. And I think when I think about Ari's family, if they were Christian conservative versus Jewish conservative, I don't know that they'd be as accepting of him.
You know, Ari's dad survived the Holocaust.
No shit.
Oh, yeah. Ari's dad has a tattoo.
Damn.
Yeah. He's very old. Whoa. Yeah.
He must be one of the oldest people left with a tattoo. I mean,
yeah, he talked to me about having his dad on. He asked me if I'd be interested in it, if his dad ever wants to do it, because, you know, he doesn't have much time left. And I said, absolutely. And he goes, you know, I'm not sure if he'd be interested in it, but if he did, I think it would be important to talk about.
I mean, he's got to be over 100 years old.
I don't know how old he is. He's old, though. Well, how long ago was
You would have to have been born. Oh, no. Actually, if he was born in 1935.
I think he's in his 80s, his late 80s.
Yeah, okay, yeah. What am I thinking? Right. Because they tattooed the fucking kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's dark. It's horrible. It's so crazy, dude. It's so crazy that was less than 100 years ago.
I know. And the Germans like that. Fucking Norm Macdonald bit about how, you know, Germany is the country we really should be afraid of. Like the way they start world wars and what they're like, it's really fucking nuts.
Well, they were the barbarians back in the day.
Oh, right.
You know, we think of now as engineers. They make BMWs. You know? But back then, they were the barbarians. During the Roman era, the Germanic
I guess
tribes.
the Vikings were Scandinavian, and then they were fighting against the
Bro, the Germans
Vikings.
were fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
They were terrifying. And they all became engineers. They all became like brilliant, like very disciplined people, which is interesting because Germany is known for that.
Yeah.
But also shit porn. Remember, like in the early days of the internet, a lot of the shit porn, like weird, crazy, like
Dog
shitting
fucking.
on people. A lot of that was coming. And we were trying to analyze it one day, and I was like, it's probably because if you're so buttoned down and so disciplined and regimented and conservative in your daily life, the way you cut loose is like you shit in each other's mouths and fuck each other in the butt. And like some of the craziest shit porn was coming out of Germany.
Yeah.
This was like late 90s, early 2000s, when we first started like finding weird websites that would, you know, you'd be able to find things on.
Oh, no. Before that, I'd go to Sex World in New York where you sit in those booths and you put in quarters and you watch porn. Oof. And they always had the darkest German porn in there.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of animals and shit. And I'm like 15 years old going like, and I've got these coins. You go in and you give the guy $10 and he gives you a handful of coins. Just imagine if you put a black light on those fucking coins. And I got them in my hand.
Just jizz all over those things.
Feeding them into the... And I'm
black lights are terrifying.
I'm pushing buttons to pick which film to watch.
I have a friend who brought a black light into a hotel room. He said you just find jizz on the carpet.
No kidding.
Yeah, you find jizz on the fucking blanket sometimes. You go to a cheap hotel or a motel. How well do you think they're cleaning those carpets?
Well,
you think they clean the walls?
I've been in hotels where they put the remote control in a baggie for you because they say that's the most. No, because so you don't have to touch the remote, and then they change the baggie on the remote each time a new guest comes in.
So you're supposed to remote through the baggie?
Yeah.
Who does that?
I take it out of the bag.
Right out. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. I'm touching toilet seats. I'm touching everything. What are we talking about here?
I'm also not that afraid of cum. You know, what's it going to do to me?
What's going to kill you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just kind of gross. But,
yeah.
You know, I mean, think about how much shit is on the average person's cell phone. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Yeah, just touch your cell phone with a swab. Like get a swab and get it analyzed. You'll find fecal matter all over your cell phone.
Well, because we're scrolling while we're on the toilet.
A lot of people are. Yeah, a lot of people. And also you're touching things, and then you touch your phone. And how many people touch their ass, then touch a thing, a doorknob, or this and that? You're getting fecal matter on everything.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a cat. I used to think about that all the time when I had cats. Like the cats are in the shit box, they're scratching around there, and then they're walking on your counter.
Yeah,
they're walking. They don't give a fuck where they go. They go everywhere.
Yeah,
and you don't care. You're like, hey, buddy.
Yep.
You pet them when they're on the counter. You want their shit in their paws.
Then your dog licks his asshole and then people have them lick their face.
They lick my face.
Really?
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah, I let them give me kisses.
Have you seen him lick his asshole?
I have. For sure, especially my puppy. I have a little puppy now.
Imagine a black light on your face right now.
My puppy goes right, I have a little...
You'd look like you were in blackface.
Probably. Just splatter, like I'm the Joker.
Al Jolson.
I have a puppy, he's a King Charles Cavalier. He's a little tiny, cute. He's so fucking cute. And then I have the golden retriever. And the puppy runs right up to the golden retriever, sticks his face in his dick, and then sticks his face in his asshole. And that's the first thing he does to him every time. Face on the dick, face on the asshole. I'm like, bro.
Wow.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
That's just dogs.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
It's funny how they keep. Yeah, I had 2 dogs, and they did that. Yeah, every fucking day they sniffed each other. I mean, I guess that's how they know if something changed. Maybe they know if the other dog is sick or if the other dog is breeding with another dog. It's like kind of checking their emails.
Well, they get so much information from smell that we can't even possibly process.
Right.
They say that a dog can smell a cheeseburger. They don't just smell the cheeseburger. They smell every individual ingredient. They smell the mustard. They smell the pickle. They smell everything. They smell the lettuce. Yeah, they smell... They think that dogs smell anxiety. They smell like moods. That's why when certain people come over your house, they're scared of dogs get sketchy with them. Like, what the fuck's up with this guy? Like, he doesn't like you.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's because the person's probably nervous. They're giving off a scent.
Right. No, my mom, her sister was attacked really bad by a dog when they were little. So my mom has this trauma about dogs. We had these little we had a Shih Tzu and a Lhasa Apso. They're just little dogs. She was terrified, and the dogs would growl at her, and they didn't growl at anybody.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. They smell things. They sense things.
Yeah.
That's why people have them as guards. I mean, that's how they made it.
Right.
To be dogs. They were the wolves that hung out with us and would let us know when something's going down.
Sentinels.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's well, I have a very strong olfactory sense. Like, I'm very... Of my 5 senses, I would put it up there at the top. Like, I love perfume.
Really?
I love perfume. I don't like when women wear too much of it, and then they hug you at the Comedy Store, and then you go home, and you smell like fucking perfume. You're like, honey, it's just Whitney Cummings has this new Chanel. But like sometimes I'll be sitting somewhere and I'll smell some nice perfume and I'll fucking whip my head around. It's like some 81-year-old woman hunched over, and you're like, oh,
isn't it weird that
tricked me.
Old ladies, no matter how old they are, they'll still put on the makeup, they'll still put on the perfume,
and
let it out. Time to go out and go fishing. See if this old bait can catch a bass.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's this bar up at my where my mom lives in Florida, and there's this bar, and it's like a famous cougar bar, and it's all these rich women because men die faster.
Right.
It's like it's impossible for a woman in Florida who's in her 70s to find a guy who's anywhere near her age. She's got to date a guy in his late 80s if she's in her 70s.
Wow.
And so these women go to this bar, and they are, like you said, they're wearing a lot of leopard print.
Yeah, they're letting you know.
It's stiletto heels.
Down.
It's like stiletto heels, but the toes are all fucking twisted and mangled.
My wife has been watching this horrible show that's on Netflix. It's like one of those housewife shows, but it's all West Palm Beach ladies. It's all these like rich ladies with plastic surgery.
Palm Beach, not West Palm Beach.
That's right. Palm Beach ladies. Is Palm Beach the rich area?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is West Palm like the more moderate area?
No, it's poor.
It's poor.
Yeah.
West
I
Palm's
mean,
poor?
well, it has good sections, but it has with the people that work on Palm Beach cleaning the houses live in West Palm Beach.
Oh, I see.
Because there's basically Palm Beach is a bridge to
Right.
get to. Do you know the history of Palm Beach?
No.
They
Oh,
built,
I do. Yeah, but go ahead.
They created it. It was like a sandbar that they
Right.
built up, and then they hired a bunch of black people to come on the island and build all the houses, the infrastructure.
Why black people?
I don't know.
I mean, for sure, they only hired black people?
I mean, look it up, Jamie. But like, all I know is there was a lot of black people doing the building. They finished it, and then the island held a big party for the black people on the end of the island to celebrate. And then they torched all their houses.
What?
And forced them off the island. Yeah, that's the history of Palm Beach.
They torched their houses?
Torched the houses.
After they were done building the mansions?
Yes. Yeah. And it's probably the wealthiest piece of real estate in the country right now.
So many people are fucking evil. That's so. Imagine a guy who built your house. He's at home with his kid.
Yeah.
Having wow, what a great job I got.
Yeah.
And
And then I get to
start
live
a family
in this
here.
beautiful place.
Get to live in this place. I helped build these beautiful mansions
These
that we
people
drive
are going
by.
to love me because I helped them create a life.
Oh my God! And they lit their fucking houses on fire.
Yeah.
Pull up that story. I need to hear about that. That's crazy. But these ladies are just monsters. It's just all like the social status.
Yep.
It's all like who's got the most money. Like they don't even know how much money I have.
Yeah.
Like I'm a millionaire.
And then
I'm
they
a
have these
billionaire.
clubs. My friend's father lives there, and he belongs to a club.
Oh, you got to belong
And
to a club.
he worked for, I won't say who the person was, but a very famous Jewish family. And she went to lunch one day at one of these clubs that didn't allow Jews. And the waiter
Clubs still don't allow
No,
Jews?
this is going back 20 years at the most.
Only 20 years
20
ago?
years ago.
So in 2006,
Probably about
there
that.
was clubs
20,
that didn't allow
30 years.
Jews?
Yeah. Well, Augusta, where they play the Masters, only started allowing black members in like the 80s. Remember Tiger Woods was playing there and he got shit because he was a black playing at a club where they didn't allow black people?
Really?
And they said, how could you do that?
During
yeah.
Tiger Woods' lifetime?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, so this Jewish woman goes to the club. The waiter wouldn't come over to the table. And finally the member went over and goes, what's going on? We can't serve her.
How'd they even know she was Jewish?
She's famous.
Oh.
Yeah. I think I can say who it is. It was Estee Lauder's wife.
Wow.
Yeah. Or was Estee Lauder the woman? Yeah.
I don't know. Sounds
Estee
like a
Lauder
woman.
is the woman. It was her.
Wow.
One of the richest women in the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
We can't serve her because of her religion.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Wow. And that was 2006?
Hey, the
Something
country
like that?
clubs, the rule on it was, well, look, the Friars
We
Club.
need to make sure that's true. The Estee Lauder one. I definitely want to find out about the burning.
Well, the Estee
Black
Lauder
women's
is
houses
personal
down.
information.
Oh, okay,
I don't know
okay.
that's not published anywhere.
All right, forget about that then.
But no,
the,
segregation in clubs. Private clubs used to get away with that until I was a member of the Friars Club in New York, and they did not allow female members until I was there in. It was the mid-'90s before the Friars Club allowed female members, and the reason was legally you can't have a club exclude people if you can prove business is being done there. If there's commerce. If there's no business, you can let in whoever you want.
Right.
So that's how they got female members in there, and I think they probably, obviously business is being done at golf clubs.
Well, business is definitely being done at the Friars Club. Mm-hmm. A lot of deals probably got made there. A lot of ideas got hatched.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all these comics.
It was all
agents.
It was agents and comics.
I remember you used to love that place.
Dude, it was so fucking
You were always
great.
telling me about it. It was so unappealing to me. I was like, ugh.
It was a clubhouse for comedians. We used to go there. They had two beautiful pool tables. I played on the Friars Club pool team, and we used to play against other clubs in the city.
Yeah.
All the other private clubs. Paul Servino was my partner in pool.
Paul Servino could play.
He was good.
He was good.
Yeah.
He was he could run 100 balls in straight pool. He was a legit high level player.
So he carried me, but we used to play all the clubs, and then they got a nice gym with the best steam room in the city, and then they got these lazy boys. So you work out, you take a fucking steam, and you sit on a lazy boy, and you read the newspaper, and then they got a dining room downstairs where Henny Youngman is at one table, Alan King's at the, and these guys, like those old Borscht Belt comics, they lived to make you laugh. It's not like comedians today. So many of them are dark and quiet and disturbed. These guys fucking told jokes and they roasted you and they hugged you, and it was like a part of being on stage almost. It was expected.
Right.
No,
and
it was
they probably all felt real comfortable in this comics only club. Too.
Yeah. Right.
Folklore surrounding the Sticks of Palm Beach. So that's what it is.
That's the area what they called it.
So go to the top of that, please.
Well,
right there. Turn of the 20th century's employment boom of unprecedented proportions in South Florida, the hiring of thousands of black laborers to extend Henry Flagler's Florida East Coast Railroad. Oh, this is the East Coast Railroad. These laborers played a key role in the development of the early Palm Beach, also helped to build the Royal Poinciana Hotel, Flagler's Whitehall residence, which is today known as the Henry Flagler Museum. Laborers and their families settled in Palm Beach Island between North County Road and Sunrise Avenue. This area of shanties and tent-like homes soon became known as the Sticks. Many of those descendants still live in the area today. So what happened? Does it say what happened? Okay. Along came a fellow named Henry Flagler who decided he needed that land to build on to develop, Little said. And he threw a party for all the blacks on the island. And they all went over to the party, and while they were celebrating and enjoying themselves, their homes on the island of the town of Palm Beach burned down mysteriously. Holy fuck, dude.
Yeah.
From what I heard, McCrae said, he got with the residents and set up a party on West Palm Beach side and had everybody ferried over to the party and then had a mob of people to burn up people's homes and shanties and tents all over the Sticks and forced them out of there and took the land. How many people died?
I don't know how many people died. It says they were all gone. So, but there's around
right.
2,000
But what about
people,
their kids?
Around 2,000 people living in that area is what it said.
Oh my God.
And then this is the problem. When I was looking it up on Wikipedia, this is basically what I read.
Okay. Palm Beach Historical Society version is very different. Published text only says that by 1912, the tenants of the Sticks had been evicted. Well, that doesn't mean anything. They could have still been there, especially
I'm sure
the shanty
Flagler
town.
threw some money at the Palm Beach Historical Society.
Yeah, of course, right? No mention of a fire, any record of large-scale homelessness that would have followed such a devastating blaze. Everly Clark believes his version is the most accurate, and the Sticks was actually legislated out of existence. They claim there was a fire, and Flagler had the people come to circus and all that, but that's not true. Still, more than a century later, the urban legend remains strong, and the pulse of public opinion split. There are so many historical facts that make some of the scurrilous removal of the residents believable that it's become lore for the most part in the black community. All right, well, let's find out if there's a historical record of the fires.
This is all I could get to.
That's it?
This is a local news.
And what year was this supposed?ly
Like
1920?
1912.
Yeah, I bet they did
I
it.
think.
I mean, look
I
what
bet
they
they
did
did
in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Right.
You know, this was part of the playbook.
Right. Well, look what they did with the Tuskegee experiment.
Right.
Look at that. Like,
Yeah.
how about that? They knowingly had all these people with syphilis and didn't treat them, just to study them, to see what would happen to them.
Yeah.
Did they give people syphilis or did they just treat them for syphilis?
I don't know.
Whatever it was, they let these fucking people rot and die. And syphilis is a fucking horrible disease. to
Tell
die
me
from.
about it.
Did you get it? Do you know the story about syphilis and wigs?
No.
You don't know that?
No.
All those dudes in like the ancient times that had the big wigs?
Yeah.
That was to cover up their hair loss from syphilis.
Dude, how did not everybody have it?
Well, they all had wigs.
But-
They all had it back then.
Right,
In high
right.
society, first of all, those people were basically like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
They were all just fucking freaks banging each other. You know, French society has
Yeah.
always been like very loose sexually. And so these two royals, were they brothers or cousins?
I think they were brothers. I'm double checking.
So these guys get syphilis, their hair falls out, right? You get holes in your face and shit, and they're still fucking everybody, right? And so they got wigs made. And the more money you had, the more elaborate and big your wig was. That's why rich people are big wigs.
No.
Yes.
I love it.
Isn't that crazy? Wow. Crazy. That term that we always used when we were kids, he's a big wig.
Yeah.
That's like ancient. That goes back to the 1400s.
That's like something you would hear on that guy Cody Tucker's
Yes,
feed.
I love that guy.
I'm doing his podcast
Oh,
on
he's
Sunday.
been on mine. He's great.
Yeah,
he's great. Very smart guy.
Yeah.
Here's what's interesting. There's a strong connection between the syphilis that evolved in North America and the syphilis that these guys had in Europe.
Yeah.
Like there's always been syphilis, but syphilis had an outbreak in Europe after people came to North America, probably fucked a bunch of Native Americans, and then went back to Europe with these fucking diseases.
And then it
It's a
mutated.
different kind of syphilis.
Wow.
Yeah.
They were cousins, it turns out.
They were cousins. Yeah,
King
that's what I
Louis
thought.
And his cousin King
So this is a
Charles.
story. They were commonly used to cover up hair loss. But their use did not become widespread until 2 kings started to lose their hair. King Louis the 14th of France experienced hair loss at the age of 17, then hired 48 wig makers
48
to help combat his thinning locks. So a lot of these guys wound up getting syphilis, and there was, normal hair loss on top of it. Both conditions being syphilitic signals. Everybody had syphilis back then, man. They probably didn't wear condoms. They're probably all freaks. They're probably
they all
doing
went
cocaine.
to whores.
Yes.
I mean, that's what you did. When you were a wealthy guy, you went to the whorehouse all the time. Then you came home and you gave it to your wife. Then she had a baby, and depending on the disease, babies are born with the sexually transmitted disease that you gave your wife.
Right, and that's what the crazy thing about the Epstein leaks today. The one email that we had
And we're here.
that said that Bill Gates wanted to get from him antibiotics to give to Melinda because he got syphilis or he got something, the clap, chlamydia, whatever he got. He got some sort of an STD from a prostitute.
Do you think if she could have the choice between getting what did she get, $50 billion, or not getting the syphilis, which would she
whatever
take?
she got, I bet it wasn't syphilis. It was probably the clap. It was probably chlamydia or something like that.
That's no big deal.
But if who knows if that's true, though? Here's the thing. Like, Epstein clearly was some sort of a blackmailer. And this is an email that Epstein wrote. So it could be complete fiction. Epstein could have wrote that just to put pressure on Bill Gates for some fucking business deal. Like, who fucking knows? He could have spread rumors and then said that he'll squash those rumors. But these guys are dealing in deception and blackmail. And so you can't, assume that it's true.
Think about how many relationships Epstein had and that he was working almost every one of them, leveraging.
Yeah.
And he was kind of brilliant.
Well, he was really good at that.
Yeah.
That one thing, guy could have cured cancer if he went into that business.
Well, he was into science, yes.
Well, he was also into compromising scientists, right? Like, let's say that you want to get a drug passed, right? And you want FDA approval of this drug, but it's some sort of a competing drug. Well, you have a bunch of scientists on your side, and these scientists can go attack that competing drug. And then all of a sudden, you have this guy, he comes from MIT, and he says this. And and then the FDA listens to him. I mean, it's very important to have the leverage of respected academics.
Right.
Epstein with a smiley emoji asked former Israeli PM Ehud Barak, is that how you say his name? Ehud Barak, to clarify he does not work for the Mossad in a meeting with a senior Qatari investment official.
So the quick thread starts at the bottom and goes up.
Oh, okay.
Hi, are you going to be in London on Thursday? Best, EB.
Right.
You? Unfortunately not. You should make clear that I don't work for Mossad, smiley face.
Oh,
you
boy.
or I, question mark, that I don't, smiley face.
Yeah, he doesn't work
boy.
for them. He just volunteers for them.
With a smiley face emojis are hilarious. This fucking evil cocksuckers using smiley face emojis. That's hilarious.
Right.
That's so funny.
Dude, there's this really good show about Mossad called Tehran. Have you heard of that?
No. Oh, I have
It's
heard
on
about
Apple
it. I haven't
Plus.
watched it, though. Is
yeah,
it good?
It's really good. I mean, it's a really good look inside of what goes on in Iran in terms of, the Israelis are fucking brilliant. The infiltration that they did into...
No one's like them. They're the best.
Yeah.
They're the best at that.
I mean,
they have to be, right?
those pages
this is them. This table is people who hate them.
Yeah, right.
You got to become a bad motherfucker. Your neighbors all want you dead.
Those pagers going off in Lebanon, that was a long play.
Months
that
and
was
months and months.
Years.
Was it years?
Years.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Crazy. They're like,
the page is right next to your cock.
Blow your dick off. You blow a hole through your pelvis, apparently.
Oh my God.
That's how you die.
And you're isolating your enemy. There's no civilian casualties.
Well, I bet they probably got some kids.
But low percentage
numbers.
Versus bombing a building or something.
Which they did do.
Which
too.
they also did,
Yeah. They did some of that, like the guys in the building.
I was on
level the building.
I was on Good Day LA one time. It's all those like pretty women. They're actually really sharp. They're great. And I go, they said, "Oh, you came alone?" I go, "No, my agent's supposed to be here any minute. He's Lebanese. I just paged him before I got here, but I haven't heard anything back." And they were like, "Whoa!" It just happened like 3 days before.
Didn't Israel just bomb Lebanon today?
Oh, really?
I believe so. Yeah, at least according to Twitter.
Well, what's going on in Iran? I heard things are heating up over there.
Well, Trump just said they're sending ships in that area, and he also said Iran wants to make a deal. So maybe he's trying to put pressure on them to make a deal.
Yeah.
And, hopefully nothing happens in terms of like military intervention. It's scary shit, dude, because they have nuclear weapons, or they have the potential to eventually have nuclear weapons. But, I don't know. Did Israel bomb?
I'm checking on Twitter. I haven't seen anything on when I searched it.
Yeah, there was some image that showed like some fucking huge explosion. And it said Israel just bombed Lebanon. They definitely have recently.
I've seen something about airstrikes late Friday. Oh, I guess it'd be late there, right?
Yeah.
It's nighttime over there. Maybe, yeah. There's not. I mean, if it is, it's like it's just breaking. It's sort of just hitting the news. There's some stuff.
Well, the thing is, like, there it is.
2 hours ago.
Israel bombs Lebanon. Yeah.
But it's like the only thing I'm seeing about it, which is that doesn't usually happen.
It's probably all just coming out, right?
No, I mean, when you type in that on,
that's all you see is that one. So that might not be true. Click on that link to see if anybody's disputing it. Click on that tweet.
There's only got 15 responses.
Is this true? Grok. Click on that. Yes. Multiple sources indicate report Israeli airstrikes in southern Lebanon on January 30th. Targeting Hezbollah, IDF confirmed a wave of strikes. Lebanese media noted the drone hit in, say that word. How do you say that word?
Siddiqui?
Siddiqui, killing one. Times of Israel and Sirach News for details.
Huh.
Shafak, whatever you say that is. News for details. And
We're so fucking lucky, man. We got no neighbors. Nobody's launching.
well, we're in a
missiles
good
into
spot
us.
geographically.
Yeah.
Be separated by oceans on both sides
Yep.
is fucking
I know.
nice.
I
Which is
know.
why we should be really good friends with Canada. Like, what the fuck's going on? Trump ruined that whole thing, man. Because if he didn't
Canada.
talk about turning Canada into the 51st state, the conservatives were going to win.
Yeah.
Pierre Polivet would have taken over. It would have been like, they would have like eased a lot of the restrictions, made it a lot more common sense.
Dude, China was just up there. They just made a huge deal to get all their cars from China now. We're not going to sell any American cars in Canada.
Well, it's a real problem because China has some fucking amazing cars. Amazing
Yep.
cars now.
Yep.
Bro, they're not fucking around. Their
And they're
electric
cheaper.
vehicles are top of the food chain, man.
Yeah.
We were talking about the Epstein releases, like, before we got started. Like, first of all,
The
like,
photo dump and the emails, it's fucking nuts.
but it's also they're doing it so slowly. Mm-hmm. Like, you guys have had this stuff for a year. Like,
And we were promised multiple times, it's coming, it's coming.
doesn't it seem like you could just throw all that into AI at this stage of the game?
Yes.
And just redact the names of the victims and let's go?
Yeah, of course.
It seems like that would take 5 minutes.
I mean, it feels like, you can't help but feel like the administration is just like watching their back, and that's why it's happening.
Watching someone's back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all speculative why they haven't released it, but it's not good. It's not good for everybody's confidence.
No.
It's not good that this thing was going on, that they had this bizarre blackmail operation running. That's very weird.
Very strange.
Very weird. But it kind of makes sense. Because if you're a 60-year-old billionaire and you're a freak and you like to get your freak on, but unfortunately you're a gigantic software developer and everybody knows who you are.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to get your freak on.
Well, that's the thing is like it makes sense when you go like, oh, some of these dudes really liked visiting that place.
Yeah.
It's like that's the only place they can go.
Right.
You can't go anywhere else.
Right. And that's why they set it up for them.
Yeah.
Eric Weinstein said that to me once. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
If you're the former president of the
Yeah.
United States, you can't go to a nightclub.
Yeah, he said, I think there are people out there that provide experiences for certain people that have a hunger for them.
Yeah.
I was like, of course.
Of course.
Of course. And that's also how they compromise people too, right?
Oh yeah.
That's how they get you to vote the way they want you to vote and play ball. Bobby, we got video, you sucking a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
What do you want to do? Yeah. Because, I bet all those people have something on them. That's
They
how they
have
stay
to.
in the game.
They have to.
It's like skull and bones. You got to suck the dick.
Well, look at
Otherwise, we can't trust you.
for the Epstein shit, like look at the level of people that we're visiting. I mean, it's all at the highest level of influence, power, and fame.
Yeah.
And so you go, yeah, this dude wants to do some wild shit. He can't go to Cheetahs and get it done. You know?
Yeah.
You can't do it. He's got to go somewhere. Yeah. What sounds good? A private island.
Yeah, he can't just like order up a call girl.
It's too risky.
Where are you going? I'm going to Captain Billionaire's house to go suck his dick. I do it every Tuesday. Plus, I'm on meth, and I'm really good at keeping secrets.
Yeah. These guys, it's dark. It's fucking dark.
So some guy comes along and says, I can take care of your problem.
And then
and everybody says, oh, trust me, he's a great guy.
he's really cool.
Yeah. And
He's got a great
he also
sense of
does this
humor.
thing. Yeah, great sense of humor.
Yeah.
His staff love him.
Yeah.
They also do this thing where, you know, it's like you're going to hang out with other famous people, so it must be safe.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Bill Clinton's here. This is no problem.
This is a statement released by the spokesperson or spokesman for Bill Clinton.
Oh,
today.
let's read that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. There's a person who signed it. My name is Angel Urena, spokesman for the former President Bill Clinton. Isn't that weird?
He's the deputy chief of staff for Bill Clinton.
Okay. He's still got a chief of staff. What does he do these days? Epstein Files Transparency Act imposes a clear legal duty on the U.S. Department of Justice to produce the full and complete record of the public demands and deserves. The public demands and deserves. However, what the Department of Justice has released so far and the manner in which it did so makes one thing clear: someone or something is being protected. We do not know whom, what, or why. This is like the killer pretending to be the detective.
Yeah.
We've got to solve this crime. We do not know whom.
This is the killer joining the search party.
We do not know whom, what, or why. We have photos of you in a fucking hot tub, buddy. But we do know this. We need no such protection. Accordingly, we call on President Trump to direct Attorney General Bondi to immediately release any remaining materials referring to, mentioning, or containing a photograph of Bill Clinton. This includes, without limitation, any records that may exist and are subject to disclosure under the Act, Public Law 119-38, enacted on November 19, 2025, including grand jury transcripts, interview notes, photographs, and findings by the... This means a deal was made. So if you have a press release like that, that means the call went well.
Yeah.
You got a deal in. Whew, we're good.
We are good.
All we have to do is let him run for a third term.
And we're
fine.
fine.
Look, he's...
Dude, Clinton chilling in that hot tub too.
Hey, I would chill in a hot tub too. It feels nice.
Yeah, it feels nice, but it's just like
What's the big deal? You're chilling in a hot tub. If I went to your house and you had a hot tub, like, let's all get in the hot tub. I get in there.
Come on
take
over.
a picture of me. I'm like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I don't even know her.
Yeah.
Why'd you do that?
I don't know. I didn't know how old she was.
And you got cameras up all over your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing.
Oh, yeah. Probably watching people do coke in the bathroom. You got cameras of that. They were probably doing all kinds of shit.
He was compromising a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. And made a shit ton of money doing it.
God damn, he sure did.
Boy, that's what's really weird. Like, he got gifted a giant mansion in Manhattan by that the dude from Victoria's Secret.
Yeah. And then that guy was like, yeah, he was just running my finances, but then I didn't realize what kind of guy he was. But I gave him billions of dollars to manage. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
That's what you do?
Know what kind of a guy he was after he got arrested for having sex with underage girls.
And so then I stopped working with him.
Whew.
Okay.
My favorite one was when they were questioning Bill Gates about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, well, he's dead now, so you got to be careful. Did you ever see that?
No.
Oh, it's crazy.
That's it? That's his statement?
It's crazy. She asked him, like, why he had, these interactions with Jeffrey Epstein. Mm-hmm. And he's essentially saying, it was a mistake. I was hoping that he was going to do a lot of work with philanthropy.
Sure.
He's going to help me out with philanthropy.
Right. That's why I meet with him so many times.
But the end result, the final statement that was chilling, is like, he's dead now, so you have to be careful. Like, what?
What does that mean?
What does that mean? What do you mean? Be careful to not hang yourself in jail, which is what the official story is, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Be careful or you'll hang yourself in jail? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
No, it's not what you're saying.
That's
you're
not
saying
what
be
you're saying.
careful because someone killed him,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is what we all think. Which is why there's no fucking, the cameras were down, which is why the guards were asleep, which is why his gigantic
bone.
roommate,
Yeah.
who was a murderer and a drug dealing cop, who assassinated people, who's built like a fucking gorilla. You ever see his roommate?
No.
You never saw Jeffrey Epstein's roommate? Oh boy.
He had a cellmate when he was there?
Bro, not only did he have a cellmate, he had a cellmate that had murdered several people in drug deals, who was a cop. And he was a gigantic, roided up psychopath. This is the roommate.
I remember.
You can get that guy to kill him for extra cigarettes, is what my point is. He's in jail for life.
I remember.
Look at him.
That guy?
That guy. That was his fucking roommate. Just imagine what kind of a plan you would have for the biggest defendant in any sort of high-level espionage, possibly involving foreign governments, and you'd put him in a prison cell, a cage, with a guy who's committed 4 different murders.
That guy was a cop?
Yes. Look at the build on this motherfucker. Look at the size of this guy.
Yeah.
This is the guy?
He liked
put
dogs.
A murderer?
That's nice.
Yeah, he's a sweet guy. You put a murderer... Well, he had to have a bunch of things barking in case anyone came near his property to get back at him.
Do you remember that famous forensic...
Michael Baden.
Michael Baden.
Yeah.
He testified that the hyoid, I think it's called the hyoid bone,
Yeah.
that was snapped on Epstein was far more consistent with, as he says, a homicide.
Yeah.
Than so it just bothers me so much that he says it like that.
A homicide.
Yeah. And he says
I think he said it was broken in 2 places.
he's like, that's much more consistent with homicide than suicide.
Yeah, it was someone strangled him. Someone strangled him from behind. It was also the position. Here it is. Play this.
Well, it's at the end, I think, but
I
That's okay.
regret doing that. He had relationships with people he said, would give to global health, which is a interest I have. Not nearly enough philanthropy goes in that direction. Those meetings were a mistake. They didn't result in what he purported, and I cut them off. That goes back a long time ago now. So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continue to meet with him over several years, and that, in other words, a number of meetings. What did you do when you found out about his background?
Well, I've said I regretted having those dinners, and there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so in general, you always have to be careful. I'm very proud of what we've done in philanthropy. Very proud of the work of the foundation. That's what I get up every day and focus on.
Me too. I'm a good guy.
Jesus Christ.
And the Epstein stuff coming out now is, we'll see what happens with that. But
Well, you guys were talking right before the podcast. Jamie said there was a big dump. What happened with the big dump?
big dump.
You said there was a big dump today and they fucked up? That was your take. They fucked up?
The fuck up was that people have found out that the redactions weren't really redacted.
Dun, dun, dun.
So that's a big mistake. Like you can copy and paste and put it in another document and see the redactions.
Oh, like a Photoshop deal?
Yeah.
Like you could get the layers away?
yeah.
Oh, whoopsies. That's what happens. You get fucking people working for the government that are dorks.
Then, which is like, this is like
That's a
steps
big
to
deal.
this. If you're,
Yeah.
I wasn't following it all, but the Department of Justice has tweeted a couple interesting things today, starting with this one 8 hours ago. So it's like 6 a.m. or something.
Department of Justice has officially released nearly 30,000 more pages of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein. Some of these documents contain untrue and sensationalist claims made against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. To be clear, the claims are unfounded and false, and if they had a shred of credibility, they certainly would have been weaponized against President Trump already. Nevertheless, out of our commitment to the law and transparency, the DOJ is releasing these documents with the legally required protections for Epstein's victims.
Some of those documents have been deleted now.
Okay, so they're saying that 30,000 more pages of documents, and some of them contain untrue and sensational claims made against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election, right? But by who?
That's people are just sort of taking it as a grain of salt, saying like, "What?" So nobody else. It's all.
It's only Trump.
Untrue about Trump.
Right.
Nothing. Nobody else. Yeah.
All the Bill Clinton photos were definitely
The other
him
one
with,
was.
come
this
on.
Picture came out of a letter that seems to be a potential suicide note written by Epstein, written to Larry Nassar. The facts of that were strange. There's a postmark, which is 3 or 4 days after he died.
Wait a minute. Larry Nassar.
Yeah, he was also in jail.
He's the Olympic guy?
Yeah.
The doctor that was a pedophile?
Yeah, and it's like a letter writing like, hey, I know what you know why I'm in jail. I know why you're in jail.
Boy. That
Yeah.
seems weird that he's writing a letter
He
to
says he's taking the
pedophile.
short
Yeah,
route.
and like that
Yeah.
starts off saying, if you've gotten this, you know I took the, in quotes, short route out, which,
Short route home, right?
yeah. But there's some weird detail. People are, like they said, they're saying this is fake or maybe fake.
Did they
just
get a
tweeted this
handwriting
30 minutes
expert
ago.
to analyze it yet?
Appearing doesn't, that's, I started asking the questions like, well, then why did it come out? How are, you know,
Oh, so the FBI, it says the FBI has confirmed this alleged letter from Jeffrey Epstein to Larry Nassar is fake. Fake in all caps. Trump wrote that. The fake, he gets busted by the use of all caps. Fake letter was received by the jail and flagged for the FBI at the time. The FBI made this conclusion based on the following facts. The writing does not appear to match Jeffrey Epstein's. The letter was postmarked 3 days after Epstein's death out of Northern Virginia when he was jailed in New York. The return address did not list the jail where Epstein was held and did not include his inmate number, which is required for outgoing mail. The fake letter serves as a reminder that just because a document is released by the Department of Justice does not make the allegations or claims within the document factual. Nevertheless, the DOJ will continue to release all material required by law. Well, this is how they probably should have done it from the beginning, right? Release all material.
Yeah.
And then refute whatever you say is fake. And you say, okay, it didn't have his inmate number. It's not his handwriting. It's fake. It was 3 days after his death. It was postmarked from Virginia. He was in New York.
But don't make it
It's
look
fake.
like you're covering it up. Just
Right. Release it
although
and
I
say
will
it's
say,
fake.
I have seen on Twitter people complaining about like they're not meant to censor anything due to embarrassment. But when it's like Ghislaine Maxwell's boobs, they will censor it out. And people go, this has been illegally censored. You must,
Yeah,
by
I
the
need to
law
s-
of the United States, show me her boobs.
I need to see them areolas.
Is she? She's in prison in Texas.
She's in, you can kind of call it prison. She does yoga, plays cards, hangs out.
Is she allowed to talk to people?
I don't think so. She's not allowed to podcast, I'm sure, if that's what you're getting at.
I am. Yeah. That would be a really exciting podcast.
If everybody wants to die, that would be a really good podcast.
I think she's just a nice, normal lady.
Do you think Trump, on the way out, pardons her?
She's a nice woman. I wish her well. I don't know. It's
The weird thing is she's in jail for sex trafficking to who?
Epstein.
Right.
No, but was it
To
for
him?
that?
From him?
I think it was 16-year-olds
Just to him?
in Florida, and it was directly to him. I was
Right.
briefly, I experimented with being like a non-Epstein believer.
Really?
Yeah, for about 2 weeks.
What
I
did
thought,
you think was going on?
I was like, maybe he's just a pervert who liked getting back rubs from 16-year-olds, and he had famous friends. Because everyone was like, he's Mossad, he's CIA.
What do you think now?
Yeah, he's obviously something. It's way. I just thought everyone in the green room was saying he's Mossad. I was like, I could be. Maybe the controversial thing would be to not believe there's a
Take the
conspiracy.
contrarian position.
I just wanted to experiment with the contrarian position, and it's getting harder and harder to hold that.
Yeah, it seems
Together.
like the more they dig into his past, the more it feels like he was part of some sort of intelligence agency.
Or like channeling offshore money for people.
How about the fact that he just got a slap on the wrist during the first case when he caught a case, and then whoever it was the prosecutor or the judge, was told that he was intelligence.
There was and then someone. I listened to a podcast on it from like from Matthew Schmitz, who's Compact magazine, and they were making out that it was an anti-Semitic plot to say that Epstein was secret intelligence, and it's genuinely, although I don't agree with them, it was one of the best put together podcasts I'd heard. And
Look at this Suicide Watch observation lot. 2:15 a.m. Inmate states his cellmate tried to kill him.
Inmate sitting on bed trying
He
to
later
remember what
retracted it, saying he has no idea what happened, but there's pictures of him showing his wounds and stuff. I think he also said he woke up and didn't know where those wounds came from.
Oh, so that's the guy too, by the
Yeah.
way. You know that. That's
There's
the
some
cellmate,
pictures of his
the
wounds.
giant dude. Oh, so the cellmate beat the fuck out of him. I don't see any wounds.
Oh.
Where's the wounds? New release documentary.
That looks sad.
Semi-conscious with neck injuries.
He had marks around his wrists. I
Let me
think they
see.
said his. Well, I mean,
Let me see his neck. See,
can't really tell.
click
It's
it.
not a good picture.
Oh, it's a video?
Oh, okay. It's a video.
His picture. His hands were swollen. I think it said his ankles or feet were swollen too.
Oh, so the guy tried to grab his neck and choke him.
But they said they investigated. They didn't find anything.
Found no evidence of foul play. I didn't do nothing. He says he didn't do nothing. I don't know what to tell you. You're okay. Get back in jail, you pedophile. That's probably what they did. But the guy probably tried to kill him. I mean, he looks like a guy that would try to kill you, and he was definitely a murderer.
Yeah, if you're in a jail cell with a pedophile, I don't think that's unusual to try and kill that guy.
Also, you're a big giant guy who's in jail for murdering 4 drug dealers, and you're a cop. Like,
I don't know.
I was always saying that you could get him to kill that guy for like a pack of cigarettes.
If
That
you're in
guy's going
jail
to be in
for
jail
life.
for the rest of his life,
Yeah.
forever, for sure. And you can give him like awesome special treatment if you wax Jeffrey Epstein.